everyone, and welcome back to Eric Hunting from Parts Unknown. My sweetheart, Anissa.
Hello.
We just recently went to Test Their Strengths, features Fight for Your Dreams 5, out in Florence, Massachusetts at the Northampton Elks Club. Really cool venue. It was one hell of a show from start to finish.
Mm-hmm. Lots of fun, lots of surprises.
Lots of surprises. We had fire department showed up at one point, at the very beginning of the show.
Good to know the smoke detector works.
Smoke alarms work. They are well wired to the fire department in Florence, Massachusetts. We'll get into that when we get to the match. But it was really cool. It was good to see our people. We wish that some of our other people were there.
True.
But it was really good to be at another wrestling show again. It's been a while. This was Anissa's second Test of Strength show, but this was a do-over so she could re-experience it in better conditions. And I think it went well for her. I think she really loved the experience last night.
I did.
Slick Wagner Brown and Alex Rojas, the general manager, put on a really, really good show. They have really quality matches, quality competitors. I don't think there was
excellent vendors.
Yeah, all the people that come to support, selling cupcakes and goodies and
heel shit,
all their merchandise, and Alex Rojas with his heel shit stuff, and the merchandise. They do a really, really good job over there, and they make the experience worth the $1 that you pay to sit in the seats, and it really shows too. I don't think there was a low match on the card.
It was high energy all night.
Even there was a couple of matches that was a lot of chain wrestling and such. It wasn't a whole lot of flip flop and fly. Still had you engaged in the whole. You didn't know. It was just exciting the whole night through. And before we get into the matches, we want to, like we usually do, we recognize the
behind the scenes.
The behind the scenes people, but also the the referees, the ring announcers. Ring announcer extraordinaire, Matt DeCourt. One of our favorites. He's really good guys. One of my buddies. I really love Matt DeCourt.
He's awesome.
And he does an excellent job. And I think they give him more and more things to say just to see how long he can go without taking a breath. Getting all the sponsors in, getting the next show in, and the social medias and everything else.
He's ever so helpful.
And he helped us out with some of the information that I'll be reading off here.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Matt DeCourt. So that was our ring announcer. Then we had Ref Bill, who is just a classy guy and solid referee, and usually keeps an honest match going. And you had Q Ref, or Ref Q, however you want to say it. Ref Q is, he's Ref Q. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
He's a good guy, and he's one of the good dudes. He works real hard.
Hope you're okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Then there's a new up-and-comer ref. Her name is Ref Alana, who I think this is like her third or fourth event, at least a big event. I know she's done some of the training days. She's coming up, and she's
coming along.
She's coming along. She's going to be a good referee.
She's fair.
She
doesn't let much get by her.
She's learning to stand up for herself against some of these big dudes. And then there was a new ref. I don't know if he's new. He's new to us. I've never seen him before, and his name is Ref Nick. That's all the information I got. But really, he had to ref one hell of a match, and that was the street fight.
Yeah.
So.
And a big man.
Yeah, he's an imposing figure on his own.
True.
So, and he helped in other areas too throughout the night. So, those were our referees. That was our ring announcer. Like I said, general manager is Alex Rojas. So, those are the part players, and
we should learn the names of the guys who take care of all the music too, because really they do a great job.
They had, and I feel bad because I don't know everybody's names, but
we do know Jeter.
The guy that was doing the kid that was doing the music was Alex Rojas' son, and then there was a commentator. For the life of me, I can't remember his name. Yeah, he knows my name every time I see him. He's like, "Hey, Eric, how we doing?" I'm like, "Great," but I can't remember his name.
Well, you have a hunting memory.
And now I have a job to do, so I need to learn that. So we started out the night with a 4-way tag team match, which just going to be chaos from the beginning, and
it was.
It was chaos right from the beginning.
Well, let's be fair. The Mission was involved, so of course there was chaos.
And that's where it started. Mission was the first Mission with Dan the Man and Brother Greatness. Brother Greatness. When they finally came out, they were coming out to a smoke-filled room. Well, that smoke-filled room set off the smoke detectors, and it took a while to get the smoke out of the room. We opened up doors, we got those smoke out, and then we began. And they had I guess for all intents and purposes, we'll call him a choir director, was singing the word of the Mission, and Brother Greatness. And it was entertaining while we were waiting for the smoke to dissipate. And that's when the firefighters showed up. They watched a little bit of the show, made sure everything was okay. And then we got everything underway. And the next team to come out was our guy, Bobby Ocean, tagging with Matthias, who I've seen a couple of times, and I've yet to be disappointed at any time I've seen him. This guy has got energy. He's got athleticism.
What a killer combination of a tag team.
You can't go wrong with Bobby Ocean.
Nope.
But, I mean, that's hard hitting Bobby Ocean. And we had the champs came out. The champs are the Miracle Generation. That's Dustin Flash Waller and Kylon King, who spend more time in the air than they do on the mat. And
but when they are on the mat, they can still go.
They can go, and they're well trained. And it shows.
They have the energy of youth.
And they're everywhere right now. They're test of strength, PAPW. They're wrestling open, beyond
PvP.
They're going to be a PvP coming up, and so they're Blitzkrieg as well. These guys are making the towns. They've gone out, even further out. And I get excited when they come out because they come out to Two-Fisted Law, which is a band fronted by Big Jim Anderson. So that gets me excited. I love hearing that song. And then the fourth team was the team of The Cure, Lucas Chase, and Danny Miles. And Danny Miles is just a hard-hitting bulldog. He's ground and pound. He's rough and tough. He's strong as nails. The first time we saw him at PvP on Ricky Steamboat Night. Was one of the first times we saw Danny Miles. And for the life of me, I can't remember. That was 5 years ago, so I don't remember who his opponent was. But I was impressed then, and I've seen him a couple of times since then. And we just saw him recently at our your first test strength show a couple months ago.
Right.
But this was one heck of a match. There's action everywhere.
Everywhere you look.
You got four teams, and they pretty well kept it under control, But
Bill,
but there was some shenanigans going on, and
the Mission was involved.
Exactly, And
Lucas Chase.
Lucas Chase is gonna do what Lucas Chase is gonna do.
Right.
But it was a hell of an exciting match. It was definitely one to throw the show into high gear. That's for sure. And I did not expect the outcome. I really didn't.
I didn't.
My pick was for Miracle Generation to retain.
I thought they would too.
I thought they were going to retain, and Lucas Chase and Danny Miles took that win.
See, if they hadn't won, I thought, well, they're going to lose, and it's going to be because the Mission does something
Underhanded.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I expected retention. But I was surprised with the outcome, but it was, I don't have a problem with it. I like their style. I like Lucas Chase's style and Danny Miles. So I was okay with it. I know you're got a different thought on that, but that's the whole idea.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to agree, but
I was hoping to see Bobby Ocean get some gold.
That's the first ever Test of Strength heavyweight champion right there, Bobby Ocean.
I understand. That's why he deserves to have gold.
And the second match was an open challenge match with TJ Howell III, who was somewhat represented by Jared Silverclight. Yeah, Silverclight. That's what I said. Jared Silverclight comes out and he, runs his mouth, and then TJ Howell was kind of running his mouth too, and then the challenge was getting answered, and some music hit, and out came the infamous Ryan Frost. This is a match that's happened before, multiple times before, since Cold Cash is split up.
They're not okay.
They're not okay, and neither is TJ Howell now. And Ryan Frost came out with his heavy with Jimmy Meese, and
it doesn't matter how many times I see that fella. He is just a very big man.
Yeah, he is a big man. He is a big dude, and he's carrying around Ryan Frost's kendo stick, and that just makes him bigger and more dangerous. And Jared Silverclight realized that he got picked up and put down and was told to stay. And smartly, he stayed for a minute or two.
And that's about it.
But then, it went down and around and everything else. And
it went around and around.
And then Ryan Frost got the win, which was good to see. It was good to see Ryan Frost get that win after how he got screwed over in Waterbury, the last Test of Strength show we went to, when he was screwed out of the heavyweight championship. So he's working his way back up the ranks to hopefully get himself into contention for that title again. But then there was a surprise at the end of this match. Some music hit, and out.
Well, because TJ Howell III put his hands on Matt DeCourt.
Yeah.
And he deserves what he got.
Yes. I'm sorry, I skipped over that. Some of it blurs on you. You see a lot of action. Some of it blurs. But yeah, El Jabroni comes out to save Matt DeCourt and right the wrongs of TJ Howell, who over a year ago, maybe even longer than that, who TJ Howell killed El Jabroni when Cold Cash was still okay. And so El Jabroni is back, which is really cool. It's my first time seeing El Jabroni, and I was pleasantly surprised. Obviously there'll be a picture over here for El Jabroni, and everybody will get to see who he is. It was good. It was cool to get to see him. The whole place was shocked. Even the guys in the ring were shocked. It was great. It was good to see him. And now TJ Howell is 0-7 in his open challenges. Jared Silverclight kicked him to the curb. He doesn't want to back somebody who's losing that much. So
he's a quick learner, eh? I mean, it only took him 7 times before he decided.
I told him it was a waste of his money, but he doesn't want to listen to me.
A fool and their money.
Daddy's money. Then there was a tag team gauntlet match, which, if you don't know, it means two teams are facing each other. The winner goes on to to another match. The losers go to the back, and another team comes out. And it was only a 4-team gauntlet match, but it was exciting from start to finish. It really was. It started off with the stepdads, which I finally got to see in action. Which those guys are fun. I wish you got to see them in a straight up match instead of a gauntlet match, because they didn't get their whole act in because of what the match was.
Right.
But it would have been, if you got to see all of their gags they do.
I'm sure there will be other opportunities.
I'm sure we'll see them again somewhere. And they went up against 2 guys we didn't know who the heck they were, and I like that. I like to get to see new people, not just the same guys over and over again. And these guys came up from House of Glory, which is a wrestling. I think it's New Jersey. Hope I'm right. I believe House of Glory is out of New Jersey.
We'll have to look into that.
And this was the team of Nightwalker, Jody Aura, and Raheem Royale. And these 2 guys,
tall, holy cow.
and Raheem Royal, he come out on one of those hoverboard things. He come out scooting around. I'm like, what? Okay, that's new. It was different.
It was fun.
Yeah, and what an exciting team. And unfortunately, they did not get to move on. The stepdads moved on. They beat the team of those 2 young guys. Mm-hmm. And then out came Fly Nye, the flyest guy in the room. I know he's the bad guy and everything, but I like this kid. He's got a bright future in wrestling, and I can't wait to see him gone. And his teammate was the big bad Patrick Saint, who represents the Mission. But
that's a big fella.
This dude, I've said it on here before. This guy is impressive.
He is.
To look at him, he's another one who's got a bright future in this business, but in a different way than Fly Night does. Fly Night, well, it's kind of in his name. He's up in the air.
Talk to him.
Talk to him. But Patrick Saint beat you down. He's no joke. He's a hard hitter too.
Yeah, he is.
And he don't screw around. Mm-hmm. That guy he doesn't do any ha-has, and he didn't take any.
No.
He didn't take any of that from the stepdads, and they moved on.
Yeah.
And then out came Hustle and Muscle. Jay Bricks, new look out of Jay Bricks, kind of like it. Mm-hmm. And with Richard E. Stone, and formerly, well, I guess they're still the Firm, but I don't know. The Firm, I guess, has kind of changed a little bit, but these 2 guys, they came out, and
they gave it their best.
They gave it their best, but their best just wasn't good enough. And Fly Nye and Patrick Saint took the W on that one.
I was kind of surprised.
I was kind of surprised by that, just because they're not usually a tag team, and Hustle and Muscle are. But with those two guys, you really can't be too surprised, because there's a lot of talent there.
They're a good tag team for the fact that they complement each other's strengths and weaknesses.
What one doesn't have, the other has.
One does, yeah. Right? Exactly.
Yeah. And that's kind of what makes a really good tag team. You cover all your bases with 2 guys, and they did.
Yeah, exactly.
And so seeing them win, and that puts them in contention for a shot at the tag team titles, which now we have 2 new champions. So I think that'd be a hell of a match right there, with Lucas Chase and Danny Miles versus Patrick Saint and Flying Eye, that's going to be a banger of a match right there. That's going to be a hard hitting. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a hard. I guess that's the phrase of the night right now.
Yeah, there you go.
But that was, again, the action was high the whole match.
It was.
It really was. There was not a low point. And then we had the street fight. Sorry, I'm still a little sore from this match. Red Sawyer, who is nuttier than squirrel shit, and then Mark Alexander.
Oh, bless.
Who, he's hurting this morning.
I can't see how he's not.
I mean, I'm sure they both are.
But Red Sawyer, if he's hurting, it's generally self-inflicted. I mean, yes, Mark Alexander got in some good shots.
Yeah.
But Red Sawyer got some equally good shots on himself.
Yeah. This match was, well, it's a street fight. And Red Sawyer came out with a baby stroller full of toys. Weapons of destruction. And
they're toys if you're a masochist.
Yeah, well, and Red Sawyer. Like I said, this guy is nutsy cuckoo. He's something else. And he brought out his baby stroller of toys. He came around the ring. That happened during the match, though. And he pushed. We were sitting front row, right by the stairs, and he came pushing through, and he ran that baby stroller right over my feet.
I almost think that was on purpose.
It may not have been on purpose, but it wasn't not on purpose. He was looking to hurt somebody, and he couldn't get Mark, so he got somebody. But
Josh and I were quick enough to get our feet out of the way.
Yeah, so far to move. But if you like hardcore, if you like weapons matches and stuff like that, this was one for the books. There was a gardening trowel that got some back action on Mark Alexander. There was a street sign that got used. There was a hockey stick, a baseball bat. I don't know how the kitchen sink didn't get in there. It was the only thing tied down that didn't get used. There was a lot of weaponry that got used, and just some good old ECW style hardcore wrestling. And the one of the real winners during this match was our buddy Joshua, who was sitting next to me.
And enjoyed it.
And that's his style of wrestling. This kid, he loves him some hardcore wrestling. And he got his appetite fulfilled. It really did.
Yeah.
It was if you like hardcore wrestling, this was a good match. It was right up there. I do like hardcore wrestling, and I did like this match a lot. It was, other than getting my feet run over. But I even had one of the wrestlers tell me he thought I was going to get up and go after the guy. I'm not dumb.
The two of them.
They put on a show.
Owies this morning.
Yeah.
It was aptly named the street fight.
I'm surprised they didn't go to the streets. And because of that, then it was time for an intermission. That crowd needed we needed to take a deep breath and relax and cool down a little bit.
Enjoy some cupcakes.
Yeah, got some cupcakes, got some merch and
chips. And
there was got to go talk to some of the wrestlers, people getting their autographs and stuff like that. And again, Test of Strength does it a little bit different than some places do, and it was really well done. And and so after that intermission, everybody filed back to their seats, and they came back with a women's match, which was Evie Della Rosa, who this chick personifies badass. She really does. And she was facing La Chica Clara Carrera. I'm sorry if I butchered any of that. And she's a spitfire. La Chica is a spitfire. She really is. she's what, maybe 100 pounds of dynamite in a 50-pound bag. She just, when she lights up, she goes.
Right.
You know? But Evie De La Rosa, man, that woman there is gritty.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, there's just something about her. She just doesn't take any shit. And she's part of the mission. And
I guess if you're going to be in a faction with Dan DeMann, you've got
and be a woman.
Yes, and you've got to be able to hold your own.
And he says that you're one of the best women wrestlers out there. That's saying something.
That's high praise
because we know how he feels.
Yes.
And it was a damn good match. And Evie took the win on this one, but it wasn't for Chica not fighting. She fought to the very end, but the win was tainted. This is where the young ref was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She should have been in better placing, because she would have seen that they were both tied up in the ropes, and it would have broke that count, and the match would have continued, and it could have ended up going another way. Or maybe Evie would have taken an honest W. So I smell a rematch in the future.
I hope they have one regardless, but this is a good reason.
I mean, that like you said, I think tainted is a good word for it. It was a tainted victory. But Evie got the W, and you got to win however you can, I guess. And man, we're moving pretty quick on this. And speaking of quick, we had a triple threat number 1 contenders match. This is a match that falls under the card subject to change. This was supposed to be a championship match, but due to unforeseen circumstances, the champion was not able to be there. Marcos Santiago. He was not able to be there, so they made the match a 3-way instead of a 4-way, and it ended up being a number 1 contenders match for the next Test of Strength event. Will be a title match. And the combatants were Mike Skyros, the Moonlight Sun, Top 5, Dead or Alive, Sammy Diaz, and the one, the only SWB, Slick Wagner Brown. Gangsta! Gotta do it. I love Foggy. I love Foggy to death. That match it never stopped moving. There was not one rest spot in that match.
Definitely a blink and you miss it.
I don't know how many pictures I got of this match, because I was just watching this match. It was like you couldn't stop.
It was so quick. I mean,
Mike Skyros, right there, is an amazing wrestler. He was K1 champion for the longest time, for over 2 years, and or thereabouts. And he's an amazing wrestler. He's not even out of Test of Strength. He comes out from New York, and he's like a Test of Strength homegrown almost. He spends a lot of time there, and this is why. Sammy Diaz is just an amazing.
Coming back from.
He just came back from a dislocated elbow.
Ouch.
And he was supposed to be at the last PvP show, but he wasn't quite ready.
Right.
He's going to be at the next one though. And the match that was supposed to happen is going to happen now.
But he didn't miss a step.
No,
it's not like he took any time off.
He's not going to be on the indie scene long. He's not going to be on the indie scene long. Both of them. I think Mike Skyros could be on TV right now, like on an AEW or an Impact or something like that. I could see him doing something there.
Well.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. He's doing Wrestling Open and stuff like that. Sammy Diaz, we've seen him in multiple places too. PvP, Blitzkrieg, he's been it.
And I really, every time I see him, I enjoy him. His wrestling, his style so much.
Yeah.
He's very.
He's not just a fly guy, a flying guy. He can ground wrestle. He's exciting to watch.
He really is. And then you get him with Mike Skyros.
Yeah.
That's.
But then you throw in SWB the 20-year legend, and who, you want to talk about not missing a beat. This guy was jumping all over the place like he was one of the young kids.
Right.
And
I'd love to have that kind of energy.
Yeah. He just did not miss a beat. And, well...
And he's got a smile that lights up the
yeah,
whole
he does.
area.
That smile is something else. There's nothing like an SWB smile. And, well, and he was smiling ear to ear because he took out the W.
Right.
So he's gonna be facing Marcos for that championship. And that's a title that SWB wants to hold that. Mm-hmm. That's his title, and he wants to hold it. And but I'm down for that match too.
Me too.
Marcos versus SWB. Come on.
But I hope he has somebody in his corner to watch out for.
Yeah, you get some backup because Honest Abe and that Kane, and then you got Jiggy Sosa too, and the crooked ref, and
yeah. Let's hope Ref Bill is in there to take care of that.
I think some things need to be put into that match contract to make sure that it's a straight up the middle match.
I agree.
And when you're the boss, I think you can kind of put those things in the contract.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put anything past Honest Dave.
Oh God, no, Jesus, no.
He's slick. He knows what he's doing.
he knows a cheating when he knows a chance to put it in there too. So yeah, no, but that's gonna be a hell of a title match, and it was well earned. As quick as that match was, it was a hell of a fought match.
I'll travel to see that match, but I really hope that they're in Florence again.
Yeah, that was a fun venue. It really was.
It was a fun venue, but it was also closer for us to travel to.
It's better than going 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Then it was main event time.
Oof, this main event. I'm still tired.
Main event was for the K1 Classic Championship. The champion being Ichiban, number one. Versus a former WWE wrestler, TNA wrestler, Ring of Honor wrestler, Low Ki. Low Ki is a no-nonsense, jacked powerhouse. I mean, he's got it all. And I've seen him wrestle in other places, like on TV and whatnot. But getting to see him live,
presence
he knows how to put his character together, and this guy is somebody. He draws your attention right away. Like he came out and I was like, oh shit, this guy.
Yeah, he has an aura about him that is very no nonsense. And he said himself that he expects perfection.
Yeah.
That he can draw your attention in, and he's captivating. He really is. And then you've got Ichiban, number one.
Yes.
And sometimes it's like, yay, haha, number one, that kind of silliness. But when he got in the ring with Low Ki,
the mood changed.
All of that fell away.
Yeah.
And it was just the two of them standing there facing each other. And everybody held their breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just held your breath waiting. Everyone knew that something amazing was about to happen.
There's a term in professional wrestling that if you watch like biographies and stuff like that gets used, and that term is locker room sellout. There was no one left backstage.
No.
Every wrestler from that night was in the audience watching that match and watching it and learning from it. Pre-event, Low Ki held a training seminar. I lost the word. He held a seminar beforehand. Well, apparently he gave them the words pre-event, and he gave them the actions in the event, because if you were a wrestler and you didn't learn from that match, then you're not long for this business in my mind, because he he put on a clinic. They put on a clinic.
Yes.
Ichiban wrestled his ass off. That match was amazing.
If Loki ever decides that he doesn't want to wrestle anymore, this is definitely the type of person who should say, hey,
I'm a trainer.
I'm going to open a school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he would have no problem getting students.
Yeah.
But they would be the best of the best because he's not going to take just anybody. He's not going to say, okay, give me your money and you're a wrestler.
Whatever comes out of that school is going to be the best of the best.
Right.
And any major promotion is going to be lucky to have any of his students.
Exactly.
You know,
if he chooses
if that was something that he wanted to do. Because if he's teaching what he is, then I'd watch any of his wrestlers. That's, you know what I mean? What an amazing match. Chain wrestling. If you don't go to wrestling shows and watch wrestling for what it is, and you watch the beginning of this match, you might have thought, oh, this is boring. But if you understand what chain wrestling is and that kind of stuff, and working a body part and all, but they made it exciting too.
Yeah, nobody was bored.
No, there was no. Oh my God, everybody was
on the edge of the seat. It was quiet, but it wasn't.
It was quiet out of respect.
Yes.
It was like let these artists create what they're doing, and then when the action picks up, we'll join in. And we did.
But it was almost, if you made noise, it felt like it would be disrespectful to them to be, cheering or booing or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was only when it was occasional you'd get
hand claps.
Or you'd get, when you thought that Ichiban wasn't going to come up from something that people would
edge him on.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it was any crowd noise was in the right place at the right time for the right reason. Mm-hmm. And
and at the beginning there was both these guys chant
before they ever touched.
Right.
Matt DeCourt introduced them, and then it was we're gonna cheer for the home guy. We're gonna cheer for Ichiban. And we did, but then all of a sudden, one guy in the corner started to both these guys, and it caught on like wildfire.
Right.
And it was well deserved, even though they hadn't touched yet, because you knew just something about this match said, and not because it was in the main event spot, but where else would you have put this match?
Right.
But there was something about this match that said special.
Well, it was,
and it was.
Fire.
It was.
The
fire department should have stayed.
Right, exactly.
It was just it was an amazing match. The non-stop action, no matter what kind of action you were getting. The chain wrestling, the flying aspect. They started hitting. They were throwing live rounds and stuff, and they were just It went outside the ring. It went inside the ring. It went all over the place.
But there was no shenanigans. There was nothing.
No, there was no
dirty.
Outside interference.
There was no
thumb to the eyes. Nothing.
There was no kendo sticks. Not to boo-hoo anybody who uses them, but
it didn't get used.
Them, their bodies, their talent,
and because it was a K1 championship match. There's a time limit on that match, and it's a 20-minute match, 20-minute time limit, and we expired that 20 minutes. The crowd went nuts and started cheering for 5 more minutes, and
Loki.
Well, general manager said, if you're both up for it, I'll grant it. And they granted it, and so and Loki said, hell yeah, I want this win. And obviously, Ichiban did too, and we continued on for 5 more minutes. We expired that without a win, and it was considered a draw.
But right before Loki threw Ichiban into the corner, and unfortunately Ref Q got injured in this. He got clobbered, really.
He got smooshed. He got smooshed by Ichiban.
And Loki, because Loki threw himself into both of them.
It was a car crunch into the corner. Ref Q folded,
rightly so,
and fell to our feet.
And that's when Ref Nick came out.
No, this was some guy I don't know who he was.
That's right.
Ref unknown.
Yes.
Came running out.
Apologies to.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to, and we'll get to why, but we didn't get the chance to get to his name because we didn't know he was a ref. But he came in, but
just
as he was getting ready to hit the 3 count, the time expired.
Right.
Again, and they said it was a draw. And then we got words of respect from Loki to Ichiban and to the locker room, and he it
gave you goosebumps.
Yeah,
when he spoke.
He definitely grabs your attention.
Yes, he does.
Doesn't yell.
No.
Doesn't get all over. I don't think he could get wound up after 25 minutes of match, but.
No, when they both poured themselves into it.
But he spoke from the heart, and you could tell, and he said some really nice things about Ichiban that are well deserved and true. But if he's saying made it even more truer. But it put a lot more respect in my eyes towards Ichiban. If somebody from that level,
that caliber,
is saying, you know what, this kid's not going to be here for much longer. He's going to be higher up. He's going to be on another level. And Ichiban's another guy who's anywhere and everywhere he can be. He's making all the towns. He's doing whatever he can, every level.
It goes back to, we're really lucky to be in New England.
Low-key said it. If you can make it in the Northeast, you're going to make it to that higher level. Because it's a proving ground, and if you prove yourself in this area, it's a melting pot of wrestling. It really is. Mm-hmm. From Maine all the way down to New Jersey, it's a melting pot because we get guys and girls all the way from Jersey to Maine, coming to our area.
Well, we have people that we've seen that come from Texas that want to specifically train in this area because there's such respect coming from here, and all eyes are coming from here.
We have some really, really good training facilities in this area, from New England Pro to PAPW to Test of Strength to the Kevin Landry Combine. So, there's a lot of good training facilities around this area that are turning out some high talents. Some of these talents are on TV right now.
Right.
You go down to New York and you got some really good places down there. Mm-hmm. They can train down there, but wrestling down there is a pain in the ass. But that's a whole nother rant for another time. But so Test of Strength, Fight for Your Dreams 5 was just an amazing, amazing show from start to finish. Mm-hmm. Performer of the evening.
This is really hard because the whole card was just exceptional. And how can you? It's really hard not to give it. I'm going to give it to Ichiban just for the fact that he held his own against Loki. Mm-hmm. And he walked away. He didn't have to be carried away.
As matches were going on, I think about this point of our videos now when I'm watching the matches. I'm like, could this be a contender for Performer of the Evening? Mm-hmm. And I'm watching each match as they're going along, and maybe. This is great, but then you watch, oh, I can't give it to that guy. What about this one? I had one until that main event. And I had a performer of the evening until that main event. And at that main event, I said, it's definitely Ichiban. And that's with Ichiban / low key. Right. You know, but definitely it's Ichiban because that's just one of those guys. And I will say, my 1B was going to be Evie De La Rosa. Yes. There's just something about the way that she wrestles. She does the little things. Every time she went for a pin, she drove her arm into Chica's face. Just ground her arm across her face. Every time she went for a pin. Every time. Even the last pin, when they were tied up in the ropes, she every time, she either pie panted or drag her arm. And just other little things were just like, this girl's got something. She's got an attitude, and she reminds me of Mercedes Martinez a little bit. And not because she's a woman, not because of her ethnicity or anything like that. It's just the way she carries herself, the way she wrestles, presence. Just reminds me a little bit of Mercedes. And I mean that in the best possible way. I mean it as a compliment.
That I dare you attitude. Yep. And it very few people have that I fucking dare you attitude. And
can back it up.
Yes, and she carries it in spades. Yeah. The way she walks out of her song, her entrance song, everything about her screams, I fucking dare you. Yeah.
And I don't need your support. I support me.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
But that was gonna be my performer of the evening until that main event, and then it was Ichiban. Just because of that match
match. And I think that also kind of brings us, we have
match of the evening is main event.
Yeah, you can't, unfortunately, every match was great. I'm not going to say that it wasn't.
They were all bangers. They went right down the line. It was like match of the evening, all of them. But then main event. It was in the main event spot for a reason.
The only quiet spot of the whole night was the intermission. That was it. Yeah. That was it. And even that had a palpable energy to it.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're starting off the night with alarms, you know that this is going to be a special evening. Yep. It was fantastic.
I kind of lost my voice a couple of times trying to cheer, and I couldn't get words out or not right. It was nonstop action the whole night. But that main event took away the whole night. And I don't think there was one person on that card, that would disagree that their match was not match of the night. It was that main event. I know Ryan Frost said it. Yeah. He said it to me. And, so...
Everybody was out there to watch. Yeah. If you've got the locker room... Because occasionally you'll see a couple of people from locker rooms coming out.
Or they'll peek behind the curtain.
Yeah, that's what they do. They come out and they stand in the doorway. They peek. They, want to watch. But they don't make it known. Every wrestler that was back there came out and they didn't care who saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It wasn't, we're breaking character. No, we're watching this match.
Because we know, if the wrestlers even know that this is going to be a banger of a match, you pay more attention.
Yeah, yeah. And, I mean, Ryan Frost came out the match before just to make sure he was sitting in a seat.
And watching.
To watch that match. Of course, he has special interest in that number one contenders match.
Right.
But he also wanted to watch that main event. I mean, he had his drink with him. He was ready.
There were a couple of people who was getting before that, and I thought, "Wow, okay." And then I was surprised when they left, but then I felt sorry for them that they left.
You missed the best part of the show.
Yes,
and the whole show was the best part.
The whole show was great, but this was just this was special.
It was another level. They took it to another level. They really did. So that was Test of Strength. Fight for Your Dreams 5 kind of wrapped up in a little bow. I mean, we kind of covered everything except I don't mean to do like they did last night, but on a heartfelt note, our good vibes and well wishes go out to Alex Rojas,
and his family,
who he's got to deal with some illness, and
it's not our story.
It's not our story to give, but our well wishes go out to him. We wish you nothing but the best. I told him how I felt last night when I gave him a hug, so he knows where I sit. But we're thinking about you, and you got this. I know that.
I'll light a candle.
Yeah, and then some more of our good vibes and well wishes go out to Test of Strength champion Marcos, who just recently lost a family member, and that's why he was not at the event last night. And sorry to hear for your loss.
Yeah, and he was missed because
he was missed.
He's no matter how you feel about him.
Yeah.
He's entertaining to watch.
He's a presence. There's a reason why he's the champ. I mean,
right.
Other than the fact that how he became a champ and how he stays champ, that's the story.
But you still like
that's the character, the man. We hate to see anybody lose anybody, and especially as close as he did.
And our hearts are with
you. And we're thinking of you. I sent those thoughts along to others that will talk to him, and we wish nothing but the best for him as well. So that was that. I don't know if you got anything else to add on that night. It was.
No, it makes me want to see another Test of Strength.
Good. And as I always say, go out to those indie shows. Find an independent wrestling show and go support the guys and girls. Buy their merch. Say hi to them. Tell them how much you enjoy their work. You'd be surprised how much that means to them. Mm-hmm. They've told me that. You don't need to buy anything. Just tell me that,
cheer for them.
Cheer. Boo.
Yeah.
If it's a bad guy, boo for them. Don't just sit on your hands. Don't just keep your mouth shut. Don't sit there like this. Cheer for them. Boo for them. Throw your hands in the air. Throw your cane at them. Whatever.
No, don't do that. They'll kick you out.
But that's another thing that got used in the street fight. A snow shovel. Anyway.
Child size.
Child size snow shovel. What? But those are the things you see at an indie show. And you never know what you're going to see.
Not for the people getting hit with a
do it. And they know what's coming. They sign up for this stuff, and they do it for our entertainment. And really, is it fighting? Is it violence? Yeah, but for some reason, it's family entertainment. And
when you put it that way, it's kind of questionable.
Are you not entertained? It's been in.
But they're trained professionals.
They know what they're
trained
doing.
For this.
This is what they're doing. They're doing it for.
Which took me a while to figure out and to learn, and not to tell people to be careful because that's disrespectful.
They don't like that.
No, they don't like that. But as a mother, it's hard for me to see people doing this. But they've trained for years to do this. Yeah. This isn't just like, we started last week and now we're having.
Oh, some of them that the level we're watching. A lot of the times we are watching them their first match or their early matches, but
they're not jumping right into hardcore.
Right? No. But that's not the only match. I'm talking any indie wrestling.
Right.
Go out. If you like,
disappointed.
If you like watching WWE or you like watching AEW or Impact, any of those big time TV wrestling,
this is where they start.
Go find an indie show in your area. Again, in New England, you barely turn your head without hitting an indie show somewhere, any weekend. There were a couple this weekend. There's like 3 next weekend, I think. So
it's worth it.
If you go out there, they don't get paid lots of money. They're not millionaires like the guys on TV. They're making small dollars. But if you buy a shirt, $20. If you buy a picture, $10. That helps them with their gas, and we all know gas prices.
Mm-hmm.
So
a magnet,
a sticker, a handshake,
or even just cheering or booing them.
The worst thing you can do is not make any noise. that doesn't help them learn if they're learning. If they're at that level where they're learning, I don't know if I'm getting this crowd behind me because they're not engaging.
Right.
So cheer, boo, yell, scream, don't be nasty, don't be belligerent. There's no reason to be negative. That's why we have the motto we have. It's all, you can be positive and still be bad to the bad guys. I did it last night.
You can still boo without
being disrespectful.
That's not negative.
Yeah.
That's voicing your opinion.
And that's what they're looking for.
Boo, you're bum.
Yeah.
You're a bum. I do that all the time, but I'm not getting nasty about it. And when you look at somebody and say, boo, you're a bum, and they look at you and smile because they love the fact that
they triggered what they were looking for.
Yes, exactly.
They got the desired reaction.
Yes.
And it's like, you either know what you're doing or you don't. Mm-hmm. And we've been around long enough to know what we're doing with certain people. And then when you get these new ones in and you give them the desired, they're like, okay, they're getting it. Mm-hmm. The fans are getting what I'm putting out there as a product.
Right.
I mean, they're salesmen. That's essentially what they are. They're selling themselves to you. And are you buying it or are you not?
They're telling stories with
artists. 100% artists.
With their bodies, with their actions, and with their words.
Yep.
They're combining all of those things to tell a story. And last night were some great stories.
It was a book with, 6, 7 different chapters.
And we're not talking about the Book of Danos.
Oh, God, no. Jesus. Burn it. Get the smoke detectors going, and the fire department will show up and everything else. But the book of Fight for Your Dream 5, from start to finish, you couldn't put that book down.
No. And
it ended, the final chapter was amazing, and it ended on a high note. It really did. I want to go back and see Foggy's footage because he recorded it from start to finish, and I will watch that match again.
Yes.
I would watch that match 3 times in a row and not be disappointed.
No.
It was that good.
You couldn't. And it would be great because then there would be some, I'd love to see that again.
Yeah.
Or, I missed that the first time.
Yeah. When did that happen?
Right. Exactly.
Because you didn't see everything. You didn't see everything.
Well, that's impossible. It's impossible because there are other people in the area and things happen. So
you get distracted.
Right, exactly. Things. Because
you're focused on something else.
Well, you're a human
The whole
being.
night, too.
Yes.
The whole night was that way. So, that was that. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we build them up. We don't tear them down. We try to keep it positive around here as best we can. I'm working on trying to get more content out there. I know I've been a little lax on all that, but can't make every show. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell so that you get notified when I do finally put something out new. And go out and support that indie wrestling as best you can. Thank you. And good night from Eric Hunting from Parts Unknown and Anissa. And we'll see you at the matches. Thank you.